Well, hello, glorious people of the interwebs, and welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2. We finally have a new Red Dead Online update coming out on February 26th with a lot of really nice content. Now, I know it's not a ton of stuff, but it is definitely steps in the right direction, and we're going to be getting weekly and monthly updates and promotions from February 26th and onward, which is really exciting. And this kind of got me into wanting to make a video on what I would like to see in Red Dead Redemption Online. Now, I've talked about some of these in previous live streams and stuff like that, but I think some of these would make really great additions to Red Dead Redemption Online and make the experience a lot more fun. Now, if you guys have anything that I didn't put in this list that you think would be amazing, let me know in the comments below. Or if you have any thoughts on any of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, I would love to hear it. You can always follow on Twitter and message me there, or on Discord. All the links for those are in the description, so feel free to join the community on there as well. Now, we're going to get straight into this. I hope you all enjoy the video. And the first thing that I would like to see included and improvements on is free roam random encounters and fixes to stranger missions. This is extremely important, and there's a lot of stuff I want to touch base on when it comes to this. So my ideas for random encounters are, there's a couple different things. Obviously, improving the stranger missions and making more free roam events that are actually free roam events that do not de-immerse you from the world that they've created, because they spend so much time making this beautiful, massive world, and taking you out of that and making you experience loading screens for no real particular benefit, I think is a real hindrance. Because every time I see one pop up, I don't want to do it because I don't want to have to go through loading screens and stuff like that. So, for instance, the new Fool's Gold Armor event. I wish they would allow that and many other free roam events to be true free roam events, that people can choose to travel to a location to try and get the armor or whatever the event is, defend that armor or location, set up ambushes, traps, and other things with your actual posse, so you're not de-immersing yourself from your actual gang that you're trying to build as well. Rather than having to choose to de-immerse yourself from free roam, hit multiple loading screens to play an event that really doesn't provide you a lot of experience anyways. I think that would be a significantly better way to set up free roam events. I guess kind of similar to, I played Fallout 76 for a short amount of time, but basically a big circle would pop up on the map and there would be an event there and people could choose to travel to that event. I think that would be a really great way, especially for things like Fool's Gold Armor, or maybe like a guy that has a treasure map or something like that, and everybody has to go to that location and fight over the treasure map until basically they get to the treasure, and the person who finally digs it up or whatever or finds it gets that particular treasure. Things like that, random encounters would really help, like legendary animals, like it could pop up on the map and a bunch of people have to go to that location to try and kill it, and it just gives you maybe extra money or gold when you sell it to the butcher or something like that. But there's plenty of things they could do, adding randomized trains that pop onto the map that you can actually rob or defend, and you get credit for doing either of those. Maybe you get more gold or money when you actually successfully rob the train, or maybe you get more for defending it. Who really knows how they would reward that kind of system? But adding stuff like that to free roam would make it way more fun to actually explore this massive, beautiful world that they created. Anything that they can add to the game that doesn't de-immerse you, doesn't make you go through loading screens, I think is going to be a huge benefit. And adding these random events like legendary animals, train robberies, bank stagecoach robberies, where you can actually see the pathing for it and set up ambushes and stuff like that, I think would be amazing. Obviously, these things would be timed. You'd have to get it done before they get to their location. To create a sense of urgency to actually plan and maybe learn routes in the future and set up ambush locations. And then that would also cause some sort of free roam PvP too, which I know a lot of people don't appreciate. But if there is an actual reason behind it, I don't think PvP is bad. Like, you know, trying to rob a train. If somebody comes in and stops you from robbing the train and then robs it themselves, I think that is a fun form of a free roam PvP. And obviously, if they kill people, then they get more of a bounty for having done that and having killed other players to rob the train. So there's this give and take to all of your actions within the world. And this kind of leads me to some other things that I would really like to see in the game as well. Now, when we're talking about free roam random encounters and protecting these points like train robberies, bank stagecoaches, or whatever maybe they would decide to add for a free roam event, I think having jobs would be amazing, and a starting point would being able to be hired as a deputy. So being deputized in a certain town that may have like a train going to it at some point. So different towns could hire you to protect deliveries to that town, like bank stagecoaches, trains, and stuff like that, that could be robbed in random encounters, and you would be alerted to say, you know, the train that's going to Valentine is going this way, so, you know, go protect the train or something like that. Or it's being attacked, and you get alerts when you're hired by that certain town that's receiving a delivery. So this kind of ties into random encounters and jobs, and I think starting off by being able to be deputized would be really cool. So that way, if the town you're deputized for is being attacked by, you know, a griefer, you can go in and freely kill that griefer and protect the town and be rewarded for it. So not only are you doing away with some form of griefing, but you're also rewarding the players that actually want to help out. I think it's a really fun idea. A lot of people really want jobs, and there's plenty of other jobs that could be included in this game if we really wanted to, but I think deputizing would be relatively straightforward. It goes easily with the world, and there's other things that you can add on to this to make it even more immersive. Now, with being deputized, there would have to be some downsides and upsides to kind of make it even so that everyone wouldn't just want to be deputies. You wouldn't be able to, like, rob trains that are going to the town that you're deputized for, or if you decided to, there would be significantly higher penalties for having betrayed the town that you were hired to protect. I think there's plenty of awesome ways to integrate jobs into this, and really, with this massive open world feeling so empty right now in Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, anything that you can add to immerse the players in this, because you're on horses, you're on horseback, it takes so long to get to places, you have to make players want to be in that world, and anything you can add to the game to achieve this is going to be a benefit. Now for number 3, since we touched base a little bit on griefing in the game, I think in certain instances, especially with people who are role-playing that type of character, it is definitely fits within the world. Now I think there should be better ways to kind of flesh this out, and especially for people who want to parlay. And I've mentioned this a few times before, and I think it's an amazing idea, and that's to actually put dueling into the game as an option you can do with other players. Put it as part of the parlay system as well. So say you're in a bar and you see somebody that maybe griefed you in the past, you could challenge them to a duel. And if you're being griefed at time, add it to the part of the parlay system where, you know what, I'm sick of this, let's duel, let's figure out who really is the best here, and then actually having gunslinger challenges and leaderboards, so you could actually become the best gunslinger in Red Dead Redemption 2. So this would make players want to go out and maybe take care of griefers that are known griefers, challenge them to duels, challenge each other in bars, make the world a little bit more immersive, so people will actually want to congregate at a bar, have fun, conversations, and then become duelists. You know, challenge each other to duels, become a gunslinger, go up the leaderboard, have daily or weekly gunslinger challenges, anything. This is all basically adding to fleshing out the free roam environment. You know, having different types of showdowns and stuff like that is great, but it de-immerses you from this massive world that they've created, and I feel like adding more to this world and making people want to not only stay inside of it, but also giving them things to want to come back to after completing showdowns is going to be a benefit, and I think dueling would be amazing. Obviously, people want dueling. They want dueling in single player. Dueling would be amazing, but the gunslinger bit of it and having leaderboards and challenges, I think, would be really cool. Now, you don't have to accept the duel if you don't want to, so you're not forced into a duel. And I don't know exactly how they would create it. Maybe you go into like a little cutscene or something like that. Obviously, that de-immerses you a little bit, but you have to make it some way of pacing out and stuff like that. But I think it would be a lot of fun. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now for number 4, this is something everybody wants. It was the most successful game mode in Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's heists. I want to rob banks. You want to rob banks. Everybody wants to be able to rob banks. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a free roam event, but having heists as one of the showdown series, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know what you would call it, but heists, obviously. We want to rob banks. We're a gang. That's what gangs do back then. They rob banks. Why do you have a game where you're an outlaw and you cannot rob banks? You can't even rob in single player. I think having the jobs, being able to be deputized in these free roam events, not only would lend itself to being able to have bank robberies in free roam, but actually being able to rob stores. You know, if you have a proper bounty system working in online, Make us be able to rob stores. Why are we not able to? It's ridiculous. I know this has been hashed out probably tons and tons before, but you're trying to create an outlaw game where you can't even be an outlaw other than just griefing other players. If you give people things to do in the free roam, it's going to kill two birds with one stone. They're going to have things to do rather than just endlessly kill each other, which is pointless. So give us heists. Let us rob banks, whether it's in free roam or in an actual game mode where maybe you don't get all the money, but you can, I don't know, see who can steal the most money in the least amount of time or something like that, and then you get a portion of it to your actual character. You divvy it up amongst your crew or you know, your posse. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. There's plenty of different ways to do it, but don't take things away from the players just because it just needs to be in the game. Everybody knows this. Heist needs to be a thing. It's going to probably be one of the most successful game modes, not only in GTA 5, but in Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, if it's integrated properly. Now, I would obviously love to see it in free roam. Maybe it's something that can only happen every once in a while, and you just have a whole bunch of people either trying to protect the bank or rob the bank. It could be a really fun free roam event. But also just having it as a game mode, I think, would be really great as well. There's tons of different ways you could do it. You could even do both. Maybe the game mode offering higher rewards than the free roam event, but it's definitely something that needs to be added regardless, even if it's just robberies too for now. Being able to rob stores and have repercussions if you do so or if you escape. Plenty of different ways that this can be brought into the game. Now, this brings me to the final item on today's list of what I would like to see in Red Dead Redemption 2 Online Beta, and that is true free roam bounty hunts. I don't want to have to go to a mission giver and hope that I get some sort of bounty-esque thing or a player assassination. I want to go to a sheriff in town or to a poster in town, pick that poster up, and hunt that target. I love bounty hunts. I think a lot of people will love it. It's one of the highly requested things for Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 1 had tons of bounty hunts. There was the one downside from Red Dead Redemption 2 from Red Dead Redemption 1. And having true free roam bounty hunts in the world would be really nice. It would give players more things to want to actually be in the world to do. Now, this doesn't only have to be NPCs. Even if it was just NPCs, I would be perfectly happy with that. But there should be free roam bounty hunts. You can't tell me in this whole universe that people aren't committing crimes that we can go get bounty hunts for. It should be a thing, and not only should we be able to hunt NPCs, but we should be able to hunt other players that are known criminals, especially with the new system in place. The game's gonna know who is a griefer, and maybe if you grief one time, you don't get a bounty, but if you're a consistent griefer that is always doing this, allow us to hunt them as bounties. You know, maybe not take them alive, but kill them and bring back proof. We have to kill them, loot their body, they just maybe spawn something on them. I don't know. I think it would be really cool. And integrating anything into the free roam, as I've said before, that fleshes the world out a little bit more and makes players want to be in it, is going to be a huge benefit. So I would love to see free roam bounties. I think it would be great, whether it's NPCs and players or just NPCs. Either one is perfectly fine with me, but that is something I would love to see, not only in online, but also in single player. It would be amazing. Having something similar to Red Dead Redemption 1 would be perfectly fine with me. But that is all I've got for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my top 5 list in the comments below. And if you have anything to add to anything that I mentioned or anything that you would like to see added to Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, put it in the comments below. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.